Hey y'all, Farmer Dre back at it. I am out here in the old strawberry patch where we went ahead and direct seeded a bunch of these squashes and stuff. But one question that I forgot to answer this past spring whenever we were done with strawberry season, and I promised to you guys, but I totally forgot about it until someone commented about it, was do row covers work on strawberries? As you guys know, Plasticulture system on strawberries, you want to go ahead and plant the plants in the fall. For us out here in Southwest Missouri, we want to plant about the 15th of September. And the more north you go, I got a friend out in Kansas, he starts planting about the last week of August, beginning of September. And then down in Arkansas, they start planting about the 1st of October. So depending on where you're at on the map, then it just determines what planting date you have. And the goal is to go ahead and develop that crown all fall long until the cold comes till the winter. And one goal during the winter is you do not want to damage that crown, because in that crown is your crop for next year. So one way and probably the best way to protect them is with row covers. I know some other farmers use sprinklers if it gets really cold, but row covers are one of the most effective way to protect your strawberries. And as you guys saw in my strawberry videos, we went ahead and covered these. And in my experience, or I have no experience, so I wanted to trial some rows out here on our farm to see if row covers actually work and if they don't work. So as you guys know, I left 2 rows uncovered completely, and then a few end rows there at the end where we didn't have enough of the row cover to cover them. And now looking back, trying to think back, you know, I should have made this video right after strawberry season, but we just got so busy and I totally forgot about it. But now looking back, I could honestly say that the rows with no row cover didn't produce as much as the one with row covers, and I probably should have kept the pounds we picked off those 2 rows and whatnot. But just visibly seeing the plants that were covered versus the ones that weren't covered, and I'm gonna go back through my footage and try to find some clips or anything about, you know, just showing you guys the ones that were covered and not covered. But overall, especially here in Southwest Missouri, in my opinion, my professional opinion, which I really don't have one. Anyways, in my opinion, if a farmer doesn't use row cover, he is losing a lot of his crop due to cold damage. And as you guys know, we picked 0.45 of a pound off each plant this year. For me, that's pretty decent. I mean, I did a lot of mistakes early on, and it was my first year, so a lot of rookie mistakes. But I believe if I would have done, you know, a better management and, you know, better, you know, if I fix the mistakes I did, I should be able to reach that 1 pound mark. And just remembering on those last 2 rows, I don't think that we even picked, you know, not even a pint off those plants, just because it was just the cold damaged the plants there. And depending on where you're at out here in Southwest Missouri, we have very few days during the year, during the winter, where it gets cold below, like in the teens or even single digits. And whenever we got our first frost, I believe it was around November 20-ish, it got down to 9 degrees that night. So that was the first time we went ahead and covered them. So maybe, you know, completely, even with the row covers and without the row covers, I believe that the plants weren't 100% acclimated to the weather yet, because, you know, the day temperature in November, you know, it's still 35, 40 degrees, maybe even warmer. And whenever it gets cold that fast, then the crown probably just got damaged due to, you know, it wasn't acclimated, so then it just got winter damage. So I believe that, you know, without the row covers, if the whole entire patch had no row covers, we would probably picked, you know, a tenth of what we originally picked off this plant, off this patch here. So overall, just in my experience, I mean, just 1 year growing strawberries, you know, it was, you know, the weather is different every year, so we can't control that. But if we wouldn't have used row covers, we would have had a worse of a crop than we did. And I'm not saying that, no, I had a good year. Overall, it was okay, but, you know, you just live and learn and just continue learning. So there are a few downsides of using row covers, and one of the biggest thing is cost. Them row covers aren't cheap. I believe we paid around $1,700 just to cover these 10,000 plants here. So, and another disadvantage is they're a lot of work putting them on and off. You got to get the sandbags, where those were a few $100s for, I mean, they come in a 1,000 package. So we had to get those, fill them up with sand. So there's a lot of manual labor involved in the row covers. And sometimes, you know, if you're just a one-man operation and you can't find any good help, you know, sometimes I don't think row covers are really feasible, or if they're going to actually work, because by the time you calculate the time and energy you put into using the row covers, and if the yield will really offset that. But since we have a lot of hands here on the farm, and we had who to help us out, I believe that, you know, row covers are good for us. But if you don't want to put in all that energy and time into the row covers, then you're going to lose a little bit of crop, but then you don't got to pay as much in labor and your time. And the biggest advantage of using row covers is you save your crop from cold damage, and then you just have an extra boost in the crop there. So on our farm here, we are going to go ahead and continue using row covers. And as you guys know, we did pretty good with strawberries this year, and I've already ordered another 33,000 plants. So we're going to go ahead and do 3 times more than what we did this spring, so, or this whole season, 2019-2020 season. 10,000 was a good number, but the only problem we had was we didn't have enough. So now, just thinking about more row cover stuff, the row covers we did use was a 1.5 ounce row cover. It's pretty much one of the thickest row covers they make in that size. We bought the 40-foot wide by 500-foot long rows. And one thing that I tried out this year, and I don't think I mentioned it to you guys, but I got a temperature gauge, put it outside, and one underneath. This was back in the spring, whenever, you know, we got a late frost there. So one benefit of the row cover is there was a 9-degree difference from the underneath the row covers compared to the outside temperature. So it was a 9-degree difference. I believe the outside temperature got down like to 31, and underneath the row covers it was like 39. And it was, you know, it's a clear indication that row covers do work, especially when the plants are in bloom. And that's another thing. I believe that every strawberry farmer should have row covers on hand, just because they bloom so early in the year that if you have 100,000 blooms out there, and that's your first primary, the flowers from their first crown, those are going to be most likely, those are going to be the largest fruit. So I just say, you know, if frost is coming, just go ahead and have those on hand and just go ahead and cover them. Even though you don't cover them all winter, just have row covers on hand to protect your first blossoms. So I'm going to be the first to say, other than using row covers on strawberries, I know absolutely nothing about row covers. This is all just from my experience that I've tried this year. And so far, you know, as the years go on, and the more experiences I learn, the more knowledge I gain on the row covers, I'll probably have a better explanation for you guys. But for my first year doing strawberries, I highly recommend anybody who's growing strawberries to go ahead and do the row covers. Put them on at your first killer frost, or if the temperature drops below 20 degrees, I believe is a threshold here in our area, to go ahead and throw those on. Anyways, this is gonna be pretty much it for today. If you guys have any more questions about row covers or anything like that, go ahead and leave them down in the comment section below. And if I can't answer them, I'm gonna try to find someone who can, or reach out to some of our extension people and talk to them, see what they can, and I'm gonna try to help you guys out as much as I can. So if you guys have any questions or anything, or ideas or anything like that, go ahead and leave them in the comments. But if there's a row cover expert out there, go ahead and let me know, so I can go ahead and can try it out on our farm. And if I did something wrong, let me know as well. And the funny thing is, some of my professors from Missouri State came by the orchard, and some of the extension guys came out, and the first thing I told them is, I am willing to learn. So if you see anything wrong on our farm, let me know so I can go ahead and fix it. I am 100% willing to learn. Anything that is going to help me learn and grow, go ahead and do it. So leave anything in the comments, and I'm going to continue learning and trying to gain as much knowledge as I can about growing these crops. So this is going to be pretty much it for today. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go and smash that like button if you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to hit that notification icon so you guys can be notified whenever I do upload a video. I want to say thanks for watching up to this point. You guys have a good day. We will see you next time.